Alright, it is Tuesday, 9:28 a.m. January the 4th, and I want to make this quick. I will be looking at morning panic bounce plays as a priority. This could be a morning panic bounce play. Not too ideal because it's a higher priced OTC. They don't really tend to work as well. AXXA could be a morning panic bounce play. AABB could be a morning panic bounce play, especially because they had this bigger red day the other day that was pretty bad. Maybe some people who just saw, where it is yesterday after it closed are going to have a market sell order. And maybe that can create a kind of, morning panic bounce play that I'll be interested in. AABB could be like a reversal, at any point. Maybe something that puts up higher lows above VWAP or something like that. That could be ideal. HMBS is going to be a watch if it uptrends. RGBP the same. If any of these can really run for multiple days again, I might, consider it for a morning panic bounce play at that point. And depending on how nice the setup looks, I'm gonna do something that I was doing back in July. I've said now, I have now a clear risk level. I'm going to, if depending on how nice the setup looks, I might consider trading a larger size. The max I would trade right now is a $20 risk level, if not a $15 risk level on, panic bounce plays, and some size a lot less in terms of any other setups outside of that. Alright, it is 9:36 a.m. I could have went larger. I feel like I should have, but at the time, I didn't want to just mess around with the order entry and miss out on the setup. But this one is still trying to hold itself. I just didn't like the amount of sellers that were at the ask with the size that there is, but it can still break through it and keep up trending. And it's also right at VWAP. It might end up being above VWAP, but I traded AABB, which wasn't ideal in terms of the daily chart, but I took it because it looked clean. If you want to compare it to something like OWUB, this thing was very gross the way it did it, so I never gave it any money. But that one was also a morning panic bounce play as well, and this one had a drop from 16 to 15 and a half, so I was in at 15.8. Not the best entry, but at least I got in the setup at 9:35. 15.8 was my entry. I liked how I kind of broke under and then it tried to come back, right? The thing I look for a lot. And I was in with 1,000 shares. In theory, I could have won a $20 risk level and traded 20 not 20 but 2,000 shares, but again, I sold for the reasons that I did at the next minute, actually at 9:36 right here. Now this thing might be a potential a higher low, lower low off of the panic bottom. I was also looking at BLFE, but it started looking a bit nasty, so it wasn't ideal looking anymore, and it looks like it broke under. I'll keep watching this one, but again, the higher price OTCs are not that ideal. I haven't seen AXXA. I might be looking at this one at this point. I'll make an update later. Okay, it's 9:51. I actually got scared out of this trade. Something just threw me off with the price action. I really didn't want to trade AABB because it doesn't have the best daily chart, but the thing looked so clean. The way it traded was so clean that I had to trade it. But I did trade a smaller size here, and why was I in? Because there was a 400k bidder at the day lows 15.6, and he was real. When the bid actually got to 15.6, the bidder didn't disappear. And then there was a 200k bidder. It's still here actually. It was originally at 15.69, now at 15.7, and that's kind of supporting it. And then this is a morning panic bounce play that I traded here. And then this is a double bottom in this case right here. This is a double bottom off of the panic bottom. So double bottom, big 400k bidder at 15.6. That's a lot of shares. And then there was a 200k bidder at 15.7, right? Just all of these things, and then people were hitting the ask, and there wasn't huge sellers at the ask either. It looked like something that was gonna really try a potential, in terms of a nice turnaround. Again, not the best daily chart, but at least in theory that could mean it could be a reversal day. So that's what I had in mind, and I was in at 9:50. I was in and out the same minutes. I don't really regret my quick sell, even though it could get even higher. I made, I think, just literally 2 pennies from this trade right here, because I was in at 15.69. Again, I was at 9.50. Right here was my entry. and I sold at 15.7 the same minutes. And I can't really explain. It's honestly just something about the price action was just something, I don't know, something just felt off. It looks like the 200k bidder got taken out, but this thing can, maybe try to base and make a higher low off of here and then continue an uptrend. But there's a lot of sellers now at the ask. It did get to 15.8. I don't know if that would have been easy to sell into, but I was barely profitable on this trade, and something just fell off with the price action. But maybe this thing can try to turn around, but I probably won't trade that anymore, just to not try the same thing 5 times in a row. Here's that 400k bidder that was there. Yeah, it just seems like somebody had a lot of shares they wanted to sell, I guess. He's about to be taken out potentially. Someone tried to take him out. As you can see there, a sell matched it. And yeah, now we broke it. But is it gonna keep downtrending? Is it gonna create more panic? Is it just gonna immediately come back? In my journal, I'm gonna put this setup kind of worked, because it didn't just fall off a cliff immediately, and it did uptrend for my entry, but just a little bit. That's a lot of shares. Yeah, somebody had a lot of shares to sell. I guess that's why you guys have to listen to your gut feeling, because something just fell off. But this is cool. This could be a dip by any point, but I probably won't trade it because of how scary it is. BLFE, this one finally turned around, and going with the way in my video and how I trade, or how I want to ideally trade morning panic bounce plays, it didn't work here, didn't work here, finally worked here. Why did it work here? It had the panic here, alright, and then it made a new bottom, I'd say, right here. Then it broke it, just briefly. It came back, but then it broke it officially. Then it broke it. It didn't come back. It kept breaking. Here's a new level. It broke this level and this candle here, but this time it came back. I don't know if this would have been easy to have been long, but that was finally the turnaround at the 140s to the 160s, and now it kind of got back to the 140s. This could be a good entry, and you just risk 8 pennies. Again, they're not too ideal. Maybe that's a real bidder there. Higher priced OTCs just don't really work that well, but this could be a potential entry point. But if I do trade this, I'll trade small. That's all I have for right now. It's 10:18 a.m. I'm a bit thrown off with the way this one trades, but in theory, this could have been a point where maybe if I was super aggressive and risky, I could be in at 116, and I like how I was able to hold this bottom here for a bit longer than the other downtrends, and it wasn't something that was gradually kind of fading off or uptrending to the side, but something that actually had a base level for a significant time. And this one didn't really do the thing where it has a low and then it breaks it slightly and then it comes back, but it started to make a little base higher than the lows there, which makes it that much better. And I didn't like how there was a lot of people at 120 at the ask, but at some point I had to turn around. I think it was down like 45% on the day at this point. I didn't chase it all the way down, trying to dip buy it all the way down here, paper cutting myself along the way. That wasn't the case at all. Let's see how high this one can go. Ideally it can do something more than just this. It can try to potentially maybe downtrend and base again and uptrend later if it's not going to just immediately make a move towards the upside. But I don't like how they had a previous run up here and then you can see this red day, right? I don't know how it traded this day, but it kind of looks like this one, so it could have more room to downtrend. But that could have been an entry at 116. It did get to 124, but I wouldn't be too happy right now if I was in the position. Again, just the higher price OTCs are not as ideal. This is a very common pattern. AXXA, HMBL is doing one of these as well, and it's not something that I'm too interested in right now. I don't like AXXA because it trades with a spread. it was looking nice. The chart looks kind of clean the way it does it, but it trades with a big spread. I don't like that. And unfortunately, yeah, RGBP, not RGBP, HMBL is downtrending. You know, I would have liked it if it ran longer, and then I would have made it super nice for morning panic bounce play, but I don't see anything nice right now. That might be all the trades I have for today, but I'll just keep looking and I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 8:31 p.m. I am here to call it off, and I ended up I think just what is it, $2.11. Didn't really make much. I really wanted to have been double size on AABB because it looks like a more ideal morning panic bounce play when I traded it, which was this move all the way back here. I should have went you know, with a $20 risk level instead of a $10 risk level. And I guess just to do the math, let's see how much the size ended up being anyway. 158. Okay, yeah, that was a small position, $158. I should have went double sized, and it would have been pretty ideal there. And that was a nice morning panic bounce play, nothing too crazy. And then I did try again at around 950, which was this move right here, the double bottom, and I just had a weird feeling with it, and I'm glad I caught it. I listened to my gut, and it did make a downtrend, and it did make a move from here. This would have been kind of iffy for me to have been in at 1541. Actually, no, not really. It looks like a lot, but it's not. The thing is that the range isn't very much on AABB. That would have been a cool one to trade here, but at least I got this one, and I got this one as well. Barely made anything on the second one just because it just seemed so iffy. But that was a case there, and I had to just go. After the last video, not really do anything you know, else with the stock market, and it didn't look too ideal with HMBL anyway. AXXA, nothing too nice, although I'm glad it did turn around, just a bit illiquid, but at least it did a move there. Nothing with RGBP and OWUV, very sad looking. And this one, I've never really been that good with these, but I think I'm getting better every single time. I wasn't necessarily here for this whole entire move. I did see this, and you know, I thought it was just gonna be out, but no, actually this continued, and then it did the same thing basically again, which made this a lot different from most of these stocks that just run one day and fall off a cliff. At least this one offered something nice. If this thing can do some kind of a continuation, that would be pretty cool. I don't know if it will or if it won't, but that was a nice move here. And just more experience watching these, at some point I'll be able to trade something like this and be profitable. That's all I have. My only regret was not being double sized on AABB, the first trade. Besides that, I think everything else was pretty good, and that's all I have for today.